what we'll discuss in this particular session, which is Tata's takeover of Air India. What do the Air India employees get out of this deal? Okay there, hello everyone and welcome to the GK series. We're continuing with another extremely interesting topic, guys. Something that all of us, all Indians, need to be proud of. A group that has redefined the way businesses work. It has redefined the thought process of if a particular investment is, under debt, we can still think about it as a business opportunity, as something that can eventually lead to profits. We are talking about none other than the Tata Group, all right? So it's a group that has been associating itself with a lot of business ventures in the recent past, and its conquest to get back what actually belonged to them is what we'll discuss in this particular session, which is Tata's takeover of Air India. The Air India, the Maharaja going back to the Tatas. All right. So if you are interested in knowing about this particular topic, because guys, ये बहुत important topic है, GD में आने के chances बहुत ही ज़्यादा है. So you have to ensure that you know whatever is happening in this particular deal when it pans out, when it rolls out in full-fledged manner. You have to be aware of multiple things associated with this particular deal. So before we move on to the content, ensure that you take a pause, like the video, comment down below with your thought process on what do you think about the Tata Air India merger. Let us know and let's just have a meaningful discussion in the comment section so that every one of us can benefit from it. Let's move on. Let's start with the topic. Okay, one stakeholder that we analyzed so far was the passenger. What do we get out of it? The second stakeholder that we'll analyze is what do the Air India employees get out of this deal? Number one, none of the nearly 10,000 employees जो otherwise laid off हो जाते, अभी none of them will be laid off. Alright. Next, they will be eligible for VRS with complete benefits beginning in the second year. All of the employees will be allowed to remain in Air India colonies for 6 months following the takeover. Employees will also receive benefits such as PF, gratuity, and so on. Multiple other benefits will be offered to the employees by the Tata Group. And lastly, CGHS and NHIS will continue to provide medical coverage to 50,000 retired employees. Now, this is, guys, very crucial. This, because it's a part of Tata Group, ensures that the employees are kept at the forefront. That is what the Tata Group believes in, and they will ensure that the same practices are put forth even after the Air India takeover. The Tata Group is anticipated to continue negotiations with various labor unions in order to resolve outstanding demands and difficulties. Alright, so they will have a lot of negotiations coming in with various labor unions in order to resolve whatever outstanding demands and difficulties they've been facing. Alright, let's move on. Okay, the last stakeholder that we'll understand is what does the country get? So first we understood what do the passengers get, next we understood what do the employees get, and lastly we'll look at what does the country get. All right, now after the merger, the state owned Indian Airlines in 2007, Air India has been a loss making enterprise. All right, so मर्जर जब हुआ था इंडियन एयरलाइंस के साथ इन द ईयर 2007, post that Air India has been considered a loss making enterprise. Now, according to the estimates, the airline incurred a total loss of 78.953 crores and required taxpayer bailouts to keep operations operating each year. So this is how crazy the losses were at this point of time. Right now, in the year March 2021, the civil aviation minister back then, who was Hardeep Singh Puri, stated that the government incurs a loss of rupees 20 crores every day. Guys, look at this amount. It's insane. 20 crores rupees every day का loss हो रहा है despite Air India making money. Right? Now, the Tata Group's acquisition of Air India can be viewed as one less load on government's budget. Why? Because अभी जो भी debt है, जो भी issues है, वो सब Tata Group की responsibility हो जाती है, and hence because of that it's taking some load off the government. Right? Let's move on to the next part. Next, not really a stakeholder, but another viewpoint to add in is that Tata Group not only owns Air India, but they also own or are a part of two other airlines, that is Vistara and Air Asia. So, with Air India coming into the picture, what really happens or how does it really affect Vistara and Air Asia? Let's understand. Now, Air Asia India में majority जो stake है वो Tata Group own करता है. Alright, if you guys didn't know that. And Vistara as well. Vistara is a merger of Singapore Airlines and the Tata Group. Alright, it's a joint venture that we are referring to. Air India is of course the third aviation acquisition that the Tata Group has. Next, according to the experts, Tata Group would eventually integrate its low-cost airlines, Air India Express and Air Asia India. Remember this, Air India Express and Air Asia India are the two low-cost airlines. They will be integrated together. Alright. They will, however, need to consult with Singapore Airlines before making any arrangements to integrate Air India and Vistara's operations. Why? Because Singapore and Singapore Airlines and Tata Group have a joint venture, whereas when it comes to Air Asia, since the Tata Group owns a majority stake in that case, they can have a complete say on what really happens. But when it comes to a joint venture, Singapore Airlines ka approval will be needed to combine the operations of Vistara and Air India. Alright. Now, Air India owns 4,400 domestic and 1,800 international landing and parking spaces at various airports. Now, this is going to be really important, guys, because of these parking spots, they have the option to utilize these parking spots for other airlines within their acquisition as well. 900 of these mentioned are in international airports, and that's a great number. All right, these assets could be used as a part of Tata Group's aviation strategy. All right, let's move on to the next slide. The most important one, what are the key takeaways that we are looking at? First, on 11th of October, the government released a letter of intent to the Tata Group. Alright, what exactly was mentioned in that letter of intent? It was mentioned that it is willing to sell its whole share in the airline. This deal's share purchase agreement was signed by October 25th by the center. Now, AI, that is Air India, is in charge of number of 4,400 domestic and 1,800 international landing and parking slots, as I mentioned in the previous slide, and it has also 900 slots available at international airports such as Heathrow in London, JFK in New York. Now, while the Tatas will have complete discretion to operate Air India, they will be restricted by a business continuity clause according to the DIPAM secretary. Lastly, they will also be required to keep the brand for a period of 5 years, irrespective of whether they turn it into a profit-making business or continue for it to be a loss-making business. They will still have to keep the brand for a period of 5 years. They can sell it after that. However, very important part, it cannot be sold to a foreign corporation. It has to be an Indian corporation. And this is going to be crucial, guys, because given the situation right now, we can at least be rest assured that Air India is here to stay as an Indian brand as against going to a foreign corporation. So let's hope in the future that Air India and Tata end up making profits and it ends up being a very, very good merger or a takeover with respect to Tata Group. Alright, so that's it for this video. I hope you guys have made all the relevant notes that you had to make with respect to this topic. Ensure that you revise all of these notes before you go for the GD session. This topic is extremely important, guys. Likelihood of this being asked is quite high. So ensure that you read up on this topic a lot more and be prepared. All the best.